Yahweh, Egypt's Cabal. Okay, and you see there some symbolism there of the Freemasons from the beginning. Remember, Satan was the first Freemason. And you also see the symbol of the Society of Jesus, or the Jesuits, there on over that. That's in the Church of the Gesu in Rome. That's the Jesuits' founding church. Let's go to the first slide. Okay, so Egypt's Cabal was 666. Now let's look at Daniel 8:23, because this is speaking of these last days. It says, in the last days of their kingdom, when the transgressors have reached their fullness, the king of fierce expression and understanding dark sentences, meaning skilled in trickery and deception, which all Jesuits are, will stand up. And this is what we see. And now when you add the footnote there to Daniel 8:23, I added the footnote in. It says, this is what we see arising now, the new world order. Okay, when you add that to it, the first number is 24:20, which means sinister schemes. Notice it's the very word used in Daniel 8:23. Sinister schemes, dark sayings and sentences, speech, intrigue, a trick. From 23:30 to tie a knot, to propound a riddle. The second number, 1452, is from 1443, which I showed you last week, means Masons. But when you mirror that number, you get 3441, which you see the word Jesuits. Okay? Now, the third number, 1538, if you notice, 1538 is when the Jesuits, the Company of Jesus, they're called, was founded by, air quotes, Saint Ignatius Loyola. 1538, okay? Now you see that there, right? Let's go to the next slide. This is from the 8th book of Israel, part 1, chapter 31, verse 8 and 9. Pastor says, now fierce, talking about Daniel 8:23. If you look over to side notes, it means force. And expression means immoral. So it's forced immorality. Did you get that? Fierce expression, the word fierce means force, and the word expression means immorality. Put that quote in, you get 2154. You remember that number from last week? That magnetar had that number 2154, and it means a plan, device, evil intent, immorality, lustful crimes, wicked schemes, heinous crimes, mischief. From 2161, plot, plotted, scheme, think evil, to plan, usually in a bad sense. Remember, we're talking about these Freemasons, these Jesuits from the beginning. Notice the second number, 1227, it means to make empty, to depopulate. To depopulate. So they got some kind of evil scheme going here, this plan to depopulate. And notice here, 1227 in the Greek means sea. Well, remember, that's talking about the Holy See, air quotes on the word holy there. Notice the Black Pope of the Society of Jesus is also 2154. That's the leader of the Society of Jesus, which means a plan, a scheme, evil intent, immorality, etc. And then the second number, 2191, in the Black Pope of the Society of Jesus means a serpent, viper, vipers. That's what Yahshua called them, right? And notice when you put in the Vatican, a brood of vipers, you get 2154 again, which means a plan, device, evil intent, immorality, lustful crimes. And we're going to see those crimes. The 9/11 Commission report didn't show you the real culprits. We will. Let's go to the next slide. Let's see. Okay, Jesuits are called the Company. Notice that? The Society of Jesus. Jesuits are sometimes referred to colloquially as God's soldiers, God's Marines, or the Company. Okay, notice, so you put in the Company, Society of Jesus, Vatican assassins, you get 3006, the number of the original sons who inspired this whole, you're going to see this whole worldwide circle or district web, how they put it all together. Yahweh's going to show it to you, okay? Let's go to the next slide. You remember the word intrigue, cabal, conspiracy, and plot? 1443, which means Masons. And then when you mirror it, you get Jesuits. Then intrigue means a plot or scheme. You get 8:23, which is Daniel 8:23. In the last days of their kingdom, when the transgressors have reached their fullness, this king of fierce expression and understanding dark sentences, skilled in trickery and deception, will stand up. Did you know that Pope Francis is the first Jesuit pope? What a coincidence, right? So, Jesuit skilled in trickery, or Jesuit skilled in intrigue, trickery, deception, 3006, the tag number of the original sons. And also 2714, which means finding out, to search, investigated, probe, seek out, to find out. Did you know that every intelligence agency in the world is owned by the Vatican? Did you know that? Including, well, let me get too far ahead of myself. Well, let me go and show you something. Can I show something on the monitor real quick? I didn't show you this last time. I was holding it back. Now I know why I did. The other number, when you put in mirror and you put in the number of the Masons and it mirrors, you put in both the numbers, you get 911. But you also get 4527, which means Mossad. Well, who's the Mossad? It's Israeli intelligence. Well, let's continue here. So we see a plot, a scheme, 8:23, okay, which is Daniel 8:23. And if you look at 27:14 in the Greek, it means down in the eye, like in the eye of Jupiter. You know how it's always watching everything? And they call it the Holy See because they have eyes everywhere. Remember we showed that? This beast with eyes everywhere, the little horn with eyes all around. Remember that? Okay, let's go to the next slide. This is from the 15th book of Israel, chapter 20, verse 26. It says, pastor says, like the Jesuit priesthood was created to actually do the murders for the Catholic Church. And the Jesuit priesthood actually became stronger than those who paid for them. That's the reason we're seeing a Jesuit priest as a pope now. Before him, they had a man named Benedict that was actually one of Hitler's boys. I don't know if anyone knew that or not, but there's quite a bit of history on him. And there's quite a bit of history on Francis in Argentina, backing up the Nazis that were shipped there from Nazi Germany to hide out. You can look up the dirty war of Argentina and find out the thousands of people that were disappeared under Pope Francis's reign as a cardinal there. So Pope and the Holy, so let's look at these numbers. 3710 means to be angry. It means a fixed anger. That means it's a settled opposition. They're in constant opposition. Enrage, wrath, vengeance, to reach out after. To reach out after who? Well, the heretics. The heretics. Who's a heretic? You, me, everyone that lives by the laws of Yahweh or has a menorah or, something to show that they're worshiping Yahweh. And then 3735 means hills, the 7 hills, right? That's who this is identifying. And the third number, 2226, or the second number, 2226, means Zerah. And you remember Zerah, that son of Yada, the Zerahite, 666. Remember the scarlet thread? We'll learn more about that later. Notice, the third number, 2335, means a keeper of records. Well, that's what the Vatican does. The Jesuits do. They keep records. That's what all the intelligence agencies do, right? From 2374 means to see, a sea. Remember the Holy See? Air quotes on holy. Pope and the Holy See, 9/11. 9/11, Let's look at the next slide. It says, this is the oath of the Jesuit order right here. This is the actual, the entire Jesuit oath that they take. Okay, notice I'm taking a couple excerpts here. I will secretly use the poison cup, the strangulating cord, the steel of the poignard, or the leaden bullet, regardless of the honor, rank, dignity, or authority of the person or persons that I'm going to murder, basically. Whatever may be their condition in life, either public or private, as if at any time may be directed to do so by my agent or by any agent of the Pope, or superior of the brotherhood of the holy faith of the society of Jesus. When you put in that quote, you get 2254, and it's the Hebrew word cabal. Remember this cabal, this organization, this society, this secret society called the Jesuits. And it means to bind, pledge, band, to pervert, destroy, and bring forth. Yes, they're bringing forth a plan, okay, a new world order, as we saw in Daniel 8:23. And notice another quote out of this oath. It says, make and wage relentless war secretly or openly against all heretics. All heretics. So that quote there is 666. Now the Jesuit order, it shows, is the military arm of the Catholic Church. Put in the military arm of the Catholic Church, you get 1538, the very year that they were founded. Okay, now this first number in this Jesuit oath here, this long oath, you can't read it, you can go and put it in yourself. 5010 means order, an ancient military term of an ordered troop or cohort. Remember, this is an army. From 5021, to ordain, devoted, place in a position, a military term meaning to draw up an order, to assign an order. So it's a military term. The second number, 3006, is the number of the secret tag of the original sons of Yahweh. And the third number, 3037, means chosen, acquaintances, cohabit, discipline, investigate, cunning, know, and observe. Does that tell you everything about intelligence and spying? Let's go to the next slide. I put in the synonym for cabal right there for you from Webster's dictionary, and I got 2420, which is the word used in Daniel 8:23. Sinister schemes, dark sayings, speech, intrigue, tricks. So to act secretly through plotting, which is what they do, these cabals, you get 2256, and it means a cord, a band, a territory, a line, a rope, a noose, a company, a district. And you know, when a Freemason is actually initiated into Freemason lodges, they put a rope around his neck and tie one around his waist. And it's all about tying and binding them to this organization, this brotherhood, secrecy. It's about binding them in secrecy. Okay, when you put in all those definitions I just gave you about pledges and perverts and destroys, from to act secretly through plotting, you get 2268, which means company, association, a band, a charmer company, a society. Remember the society of Jesus. To tie a magic knot or spell. And the third number, 1146, is from 1129, which means builders. Remember, it was used in Psalm 118, 26, I believe, where it says, the stone which the builders rejected. Remember, the builders were the masons. Let's go to the next slide. When they take that oath, there's a Jesuit flag that's by them, and it has this on it right here, INRI, it says, which is, they try to tell you it means Jesus. Well, to the Masons, it's a Latin term which means Eustrum, Nexar, Regis, and Pius, basically. When you put that in Yahmatria, what it actually means, it is just to exterminate or annihilate impious or heretical kings, governments, or rulers, is what it means in Latin. The first number, 1326, means end, destruction, desolation, and waste. The second number is 6634, and it's the word pater, patar. Remember Peter? Goes all the way back to Egypt, this Egyptian cabal. Patar means to open up or to interpret. Remember, Peter was given the keys by Zeus, Jesus, to translate this scripture or interpret scripture. And notice down here on the bottom, the meaning of Peter. The meaning of Peter. What did the word Pator or Peter really mean to the ancients? Surprisingly enough, the word is in the Bible. When Moshe wrote about the Egyptian priests, he shows they were called Peters or interpreters. Interpreters of the ancient Egyptian mysteries. Notice, Genesis 41:8. Davidson shows in his Hebrew lexicon that the consonantal word Patar or Peter signifies to interpret or interpretation. And he shows in Bryant's page 308, points out the term always relates to oracle interpretation. You notice, when you put that in the Yahmatria, I showed that a year ago, and it comes out 3006, the tag number of the original sons. And it also means from 4952 in the sense of loosing or to let loose. And then 4952 means to throw violently to the ground. Remember, they cast the truth to the ground, Daniel said. And to rend completely. Yeah, they rendered it completely. They completely rendered that version to fit Zeus's plan. Let's go to the next slide. Hey, did you know Pope Francis has a new book out? I gave it my own review there at the bottom of the book. It's Dove's Dung, 666. It's called Let Us Dream, The Path to a Better Future by Pope Francis. Put that in, you get 2255, and it means cabal. Because he's part of the cabal, right? To destroy, to hurt, to ruin, to bind, to pledge, to ban, to deal corruptly, to pervert and destroy. And notice, the Brotherhood of Death, the Society of Jesus, 2535, Cain. The Cabal of Death, 666. Notice, these Jesuits always have skulls next to them. They always have a skull. Why do they always worship these skulls? Why do they worship death? We'll find out. Let's go to the next slide. So, the Society of Jesus here, it says the Society of Jesus is a religious order of the Catholic Church headquartered in Rome. This is from Wikipedia. The members are called Jesuits. The society is engaged in evangelization and apostolic ministry in 112 nations. Jesuits work in education, research, and cultural pursuits. Notice you get 1753 double, which means energy, working, activity of Satan, that's used in 1 Thessalonians 2:6. When you put in all those definitions, you get 5174, which means divining serpent. When you put in the meanings of serpent, snake, everything from 5174, you get 911. Revelation 9:11 talks about this king that they have over them of the bottomless pit. And then you also get 5556, which means a devastating locust. Let's go ahead and, can we flip, let's go about four slides ahead to the temple destruction. Nope, the temple destruction. Tish B'Av there. I think it's right before that. Yeah, there you go. Did you know that on Tish B'Av, Tisha B'Av is the 9th of Av on the Jewish calendar. Both temples were destroyed on the very same day. Both temples on the very same day in history. And that comes out to 9/11. I wonder if that's a coincidence. Let's go to the next slide. We have here, this is the Arch of Titus. Okay, you see that Arch of Titus? Look through that arc and you see that tower back there? The Victory Arch of Titus. You know, when you put in all this meaning from about.com that Pastor always shows, you get 6364, it means Peter. The second number is 3818, and it means not my people. Third number, 3782, means overthrown, to bring down, to make to fall down, cast down. Could you play this video clip, please?
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! I told you! Oh my God! All these people! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Oh, it's all...
Okay, let's go to the next slide. Let's see what we see here. We see Ground Zero World Trade Center, 361 Arch. The second number, 2166 Euphrates, which is where they launched the war in the Euphrates. The third number is 2606, which is the number of victims in that Ground Zero attack. 2606, the Society of Jesus, Zeus, 2606. Jorge Mario Bergoglio, first Jesuit Pope, 2606. World Trade Center terrorism, 2001. 2606 means Tower of Hanil. Tower. It's one of the towers of the temple that they destroyed in Jerusalem on 9/11. World Trade Center 1110, to annihilate, lay waste, destroy, and devastate. Let's go to the next slide. I'm almost done. We've got to get through this. The Tower of Hananel, the Twin Towers, same numbers again, 361 Arch. 2166 Euphrates. 3698 means to lay waste. Then you see the sign of the Jesuits here to the left, in hoc signo vinces, which means in this sign conquer. Same number as World Trade Center, 1110, to lay waste and destroy. You see the 3 nails at the bottom of that symbol. You get 666, 3 nails. The World Trade Center terrorists, who were they? Look here, 2274 double. That's the Pharisees, Sadducees, Essenes, and Herodians number. And it means association, company, a band of evil priests, an alliance, a society. When you add up the numbers, you get 4548, you get the word nails. There's the nails right there in their symbolism. Let's go to the next slide. What did he mean by arches? What's he pointing out in the arches? Well, in New York City, you'll see Washington Square Arch. And when you look right through the arch, look what you see. The Twin Towers. First you see them when they existed, then you see them when they're destroyed, then you see the new tower standing in its place called One World Trade Center, Freedom Tower. But what's written on that arch is very interesting. It says, exitus acta probat, which means the outcome justifies the deeds. Our evil is justified by the acts that we do, because in the end, it'll all pay off for God. Notice, arch, the end justifies the means. The outcome justifies the deed. The outcome is the test of the act, 9/11. Notice, 2606, they said they can do immorality to bring forth their kingdom. That's all the negative character traits in the peaceful solution added together. The number of victims on 9/11. Let's go to the last slide, because I know I got to go. Just skip through that one. Skip through that one. I want to leave you hanging here. This is the Trinity site, Ground Zero in Alamogordo, New Mexico, where they blew up the first atomic weapon in 1945. And to the right is Ground Zero, where Trinity Church in New York City, called the Little Chapel that stood, and you see the One World Trade Center right next to it. This is at Ground Zero. What a coincidence, right? Well, you're going to find out that all of this was planned by the original sons, and it's very, very, very evil. But one final thing before I go. Can I see the monitor? Yesterday was 9/11. It was Samuyl, 9th moon, the 11th day. And Mossad is being accused of killing this man right here. This nuclear scientist, Mohsen Farizadeh Mohammadi. His number comes out to 9/11. And 1260 is the last 1,260 days we're in right now, right?